care for this movie, but it was better than the other two movies that I watched, so I guess there's that. God, it was awful. I could explain a lot of the dumb shit, but it hurts my brain thinking about all the dumb stuff this movie does. To sum it up, she gets sacrificed. She tells him that she's a virgin, but she's not, so it messes up the sacrifice. So it gives her powers, and it also makes her ugly. That's what they say, anyway. Like, oh no, if she doesn't eat people, she's ugly and weak. God, it's so stupid. And then, like, she says, I actually do have some criticisms now that I have gave my brain a minute. She says she was just so hungry that she just had to eat somebody, so she ends up eating the foreign exchange student, right? But she asked him like 50 questions, so I guess she wasn't super hungry. It's kind of like if you buy a pizza and you were starving, and then when you get it, you just don't eat it. You wait like 10 minutes or something. It doesn't make sense. If you're starving, you're gonna eat it as soon as you get it. So, there's no one around, no one in sight, and he was walking by himself. He thinks she would just immediately kill him, but she's like, hey, you survived, does anybody know you're alive? Does your family know you're alive? And all these questions, just weird questions. And for some reason, she only kills decent people in this movie. Like in most movies, they're just like, in most horror movies, they might kill someone that's like a decent person, and then they just kill people that we know nothing about, and then they'll kill bad people. They don't care. This movie, they just kill all decent people. There's this one guy named Jonas who's crying over his best friend that died in a tragedy that she kills. There's this guy Colin who is pretty nice too. We don't know much about him besides that he's like I don't know. Besides the fact that they make fun of him because he's different. He paints his nails black, so she makes fun of him for it. So yeah, there's that. That's what we really know about him. But from what we saw, he seemed like at least a decent person. He gets murdered. She also tries to kill Chip, who was a pretty decent boyfriend, though pushy at times. And she ends up killing him too. And the exchange student definitely didn't deserve it. He didn't even know what was going on. He just needed someone to help him. And he gets killed for it. So I thought that was a bit weird. I also thought it was weird that Jennifer's mom wasn't shown once until when Jennifer finally gets killed. I would honestly like a sequel, though it doesn't really need one, to kinda redeem this awful movie. Though, you know, since the main character, Jennifer, is dead, it wouldn't really make sense. It would be cool to see how Needy uses her powers. That's her name, by the way. Her name is Needy. Weird name, right? But I think it would be cool to see how she uses her powers and what her side effects are. Since hers is different. She just got bit. And doesn't that mean if Chip survived, he would have had side effects too? So yeah, that's different. Anyway, it wasn't very good. There was a lot of shitty dialogue. There was a lot of jokes just making fun of stuff. Like, there's jokes making fun of special ed kids. There's jokes where they make fun of gay people several times. Yet later in the movie, they just have two women make out. So I think that was weird that they went with the choice of, you know, we're gonna make fun of gay people but have a gay scene. And that scene felt really forced. Just like a lot of the movie. Like, oh, she just murdered her best friend. She doesn't know that, of course. But she just murdered her best friend. Now she's making out with her. Like, okay. Some of the dialogue is just unnatural, man. Like, hey, she's cheating on you. No, she would never. And then the next second they're kissing and stuff. Like, it's just so weird. It's not the best. But it was better than Y. And it was better than Hit and Run. That's not saying much. I did like how they killed the band at the end.